I I found that for myself, I need to block time. So I need to go into my calendar on a pretty regular basis and be really purposeful about, there's networking events that I want to do on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I have a few that I do on Fridays. I literally have my networking events booked out for the next year, just because I know my business is never going to grow if I don't set that time aside. And it's really easy for things to creep in because there's fires in every business and you feel like you have to take care of them.
Thank you for tuning into Time for You Evolve for female entrepreneurs. Remember, you have what it takes to achieve greatness. Your time is now. You're here with me. You're ready to change lives and you're ready to change the world. Isn't it time to skip over the confusion and start creating sustainable and consistent results? We're going to pull back the curtain and start giving meaning to life in this podcast. Time for You Evolved. Hey, my name is Lisa Carmichael, and I am obsessed with everything online. It's no secret in this crowded and highly competitive business world, we need to stand out. It's even more important at a deeper level to stand up for ourselves. I'm a farm girl who grew up shy with zero confidence. If someone had suggested that I would eventually start a podcast, I never would have believed it. As a farm kid, I had the unique opportunity to embrace a holistic approach to life. All the seasons of growth were lessons that have helped me and other female entrepreneurs find success when they've been stuck and struggling. The Time for You Evolved podcast is here to help you navigate business online so you can be laser focused and help you navigate the messy and the magical in every season of your business. Pull up a seat to hear the tried and true secrets that other female entrepreneurs like you are facing and get ready for real talk while you learn. This is the Time for You Evolved podcast. They're entrepreneurs ready to work smarter, not harder. Let's talk video marketing. It's the savvy way to attract, retain, and convert faster than any other strategy out there. Who can blame you? Creating videos can be frustrating, time consuming, and downright intimidating. That's where Big View comes in. It's the solution for your frustration. With Big View, you can create professional videos with ease thanks to its teleprompter app. I've been using Big View for years. Big View is an app that has saved me a lot of time and hassle. The app makes it easy to create professional looking videos. It's an online teleprompter that allows the presenter to keep eye contact with the camera while reading the text they need to speak. Big View allows you to focus on your performance and delivery so your confidence shines through. Whether you're a marketer, blogger, trainer, or business owner, Big View is designed with you in mind. If you're ready to take your video marketing game to the next level, click on the Big View link on my website, lisarcarmichael.com/bigview. Join me and be the best presenter you can be and learn how to make great presentations.
Today's guest is someone who knows exactly what it's like to wear all the hats in her business, and she decided to do something about it. So I'm excited to introduce you to Sarah Neisen, the founder and president of Neison Consulting, where she helps business owners simplify their operations, optimize their time, and get back to what they love most. Sarah has a background as an executive assistant. She knows the behind the scenes hustle better than anyone that I know. And now, through her work as a virtual assistant and business consultant, she's giving small business owners the gift of clarity, support, and real results. So, whether you're struggling to delegate or dreaming of more freedom in your business, this conversation is for you. So let's dive in. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Lisa. It's nice to see you.
It is, and I appreciate you being here. We had a little bit of a struggle getting here live, but we're doing it, and I appreciate you joining us here on Time for You Evolved. I want to just kind of go back to the beginning. Like, What moment made you say, this is it? I'm starting a business for virtual assistants.
So I was supporting a CEO at a local bank, and you see a lot of corporate clients come in. You're supporting corporate, you're working in corporate, and really I felt like a lot of the small business owners that I was meeting on a daily basis, I essentially sat right there as they were walking in the door. They all seemed to have a lot of the same frustrations. They were behind in their books. They were behind in their meetings, they were behind in their business growth, and they didn't really ever seem to know what to do about it. And I knew that, if you take administrative burdens off of small business owners' shoulders, they can really focus on generating revenue and doing what they started their business to do. And there were changes going on at the bank. I didn't feel like it was a great fit anymore. And I'm like, you know what? I just really want to help small business owners. I don't want to be working in a corporate setting. Even if it was a small corporate setting, I just wanted to do something different. And I decided, I'm going to help small business owners. This is what I want to do.
How many years have you been in your business?
I started in October of 2024. So
Oh, you,
literally about 7 months.
okay. And best decision ever?
I'm really enjoying what I do. I kind of handle more of like the business and account management now. I do a lot of the networking and meeting business owners and bringing in clients. And I have administrative assistants that now work for me who kind of handle their daily logistics.
I love that because you're walking the walk. You are able to see the big picture because you've already been there. So
It's interesting to see a business from the top down. It gives you a very different perspective. Yes, I was doing a lot of the logistics, but I also saw a lot of the strategic planning that happens at that executive level. And I kind of understood, the optimization of business operations from that level.
yeah, it's a completely different way of thinking and managing your time as well.
Right. And really, business owners need to be very strategic in how they spend their time in their business. They really want to be the executive. They really want to be that person with the vision for the company. They don't necessarily want to be working in the business.
Definitely, definitely. So what do you wish someone had told you before starting your work with virtual assistants, before you got all this going?
I wish somebody had told me that small business owners really have a lot of herds of cats. They
Ah,
are all over the place. It's really shocking just when you start working with small business owners, just how much chaos they really have going on. Because really, essentially, like a lot of them don't have that distinguishing line between where business ends and when their personal life starts. So it all blends in together. You can have business owners answering emails at 11 p.m. or 4:30 in the morning, or, and they're just kind of all over the place. And it's really something they've never experienced, having to like delineate, like, I should shut my email down at 5 p.m. because if I'm answering it at 10, like that's really what an assistant is for. So e- I wish I kind of knew that they had that much going on.
yeah. And how is that working out for you? Have you stepped into that role yourself?
Until I'll be honest, like, so I know I need to bring on another assistant when I actually start answering emails like at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And sometimes that happens to me. Sometimes I need to take my own advice. And then I bring somebody else on to handle clients because I do kind of work with clients when they first come on, just to kind of really get their business optimized, get some SOPs started. But then as soon as like I need to transfer them to other people sooner, probably.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And tell me like a little bit about the difference in how you manage your time, being that you're now planning your time strategically, I would think, as a CEO versus that virtual assistant.
Yeah. I've found that for myself, I need to block time. So I need to go into my calendar on a pretty regular basis and be really purposeful about, there's networking events that I want to do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I have a few that I do on Fridays. I literally have my networking events booked out for the next year just because I know my business is never going to grow if I don't set that time aside. And it's really easy for things to creep in because there's fires in every business and you feel like you have to take care of them. But the other thing I've really had to learn is it's not always my job to handle every fire. A lot of my virtual assistants are extremely competent, qualified people. And really, like the first point of contact, I tell clients really should be your VA. They're the ones who know your business the best. They're the ones who are working in it for you. Please reach out to them first. They're going to know how to handle this way better than I will. And it's true. I've had a couple of times when I've had to step in for VAs, and really, they're amazing. They run things so much better than I do.
Well, and if they're looking at things laser focused, it should come easier to them because that's their expertise. So I love that. And how is AI, this is a tough question, how is AI interfering with the virtual assistants jobs?
I'm telling people AI is never going to take an administrative assistant's or an executive assistant's job. It is really there to make them a powerhouse for you. They can create documents quicker. They can summarize meeting notes faster. They can enter things, data entry is amazing when you have, Microsoft Copilot working in Excel for you, or Power BI, creating some executive dashboards. It's really not going to take their jobs, but it's going to make them a whole lot more efficient and effective for you. And it's really going to increase their productivity.
Oh, I completely agree. It has saved me personally so much. So I can only imagine what a virtual assistant could do with it. So that's exciting news. That's really exciting. And so is there like a win that you've recently celebrated that you've seen in your business in the last few months?
I don't know if it's really like a business win, but I feel it's a personal one. My family and we took a vacation. We went to Spain and we were gone for 3 weeks, and I didn't have to worry about my business. I knew I could just, people were running it. They were doing great. And I really want that for small business owners. I really feel like people should see the benefit of working for yourself, that you can prioritize family and personal life. And I think that that was a win for me because we hadn't done that for a while. We just really
Mm,
hadn't stepped away and spent time as a family. But, we've lost a lot of people over the last 5 years, and we've purposed to just make that something that we do every year: travel, see the world, step back from work, and just live a more balanced life.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I want other people to see that and be like, yeah, I can do that too.
Oh, how wonderful. So how do you remind yourself that, when you're with your family, you've slowed down, and just that reminder of, hey, this is why I do this. Do you have to pinch yourself, or just does it just seem natural?
I started being purposeful in a lot of what I did. I have no social media on my phone. And in fact, like when I'm with my husband, we have Friday night date night. So we're going out on a date tonight. We turn our phones off. Like they just like, and half the time I've started like leaving my phone in random places because I'm trying to purposefully disconnect whenever it's possible.
I
And,
love that.
it's a really nice feeling. And sometimes it's a little panic inducing, thinking I'm like missing something. But then when I come back and I realize I didn't miss any text messages, it makes you feel a little bit better.
Okay, so sometimes I do that unintentionally. If you're like
It
me,
happens.
it happens. Like I found my phone in my silverware drawer one day. I'm like, I have no idea where I put it. Thank goodness for Find Me that can send the bat signal out to help me find it. But there are times where I've misplaced it and I'm like, okay, there's a reason I set it aside so that I can have more focus, undivided attention into what I'm doing. So, and that's such a great energy to let go of the social media, to let go of being attached to this guy.
Yeah.
So, how do you help virtual assistants build a business that supports their vision for success? Not just what the industry says that they should do, but their own personal vision.
So one of the things when I bring people on, I always make available like training and development. We're a small business, but I really feel like for a virtual assistant to be really competitive within this industry, they really kind of need constant exposure to learning. So we provide, a learning platform where basically any of our virtual assistants can go and learn new systems, learn new processes. They can become Microsoft certified in different platforms or, get certified in one of them is working on her QuickBooks online certification. So I think administrative and executive assistants really tend to be the people who really love to learn new things to help them in doing what they do. It's a mindset of loving the logistics of everyday work and learning at the same time. So I always make sure that learning's available. The other thing I always tell them is, this is just a job. It you're a virtual assistant, you love what you do, you're learning things here, that's great. But if your kid has like a soccer match that you want to go to, like structure your day in such a way that you can leave. And I always tell all of my VAs that make sure that you can step away and live your life. And I like that we're entirely remote so that they have the ability to do that, to be as flexible as possible, I think is a great perk of this business.
Sarah, I did not realize this about you. That I see you taking time for yourself. You're going to Spain. You're protecting not only your time and energy, but you're teaching your assistants to protect their time and energy. And that's such a huge boundary that a lot of people don't have.
I think it starts with business. If you have a person running a business who doesn't respect boundaries in their own life, it kind of becomes the de facto, like, well, if we really want to show that we're good workers and all this, let's do the same thing. And it's kind of like a lead by example. If I don't lead by example and expect other people to work, 50-hour, 60-hour weeks, I wouldn't be doing them any favors, and I certainly wouldn't be doing myself any favors either. That creates burnout. It creates a culture in a business that's not healthy long term. And I'd love to build a business that's healthy long term with great long term employees.
So, do you have any tips on teaching other people or even yourself how to protect your own inner peace?
Well, as soon as I figure it out.
I think you have. I honestly think you have. It sounds to me like you have some really clear boundaries.
I think it's the first step.
Okay.
And like I said, we've lost a lot of people in the last 5 years. I mean, both my parents, my father-in-law, cousins, aunts, uncles. I mean, like the list is pretty endless. And you kind of have that whole come to Jesus moment when you're like, I don't want to work until I'm 70 and, just kind of scrape by having some fun after that. Like, I really want to live a life that's fulfilling. And really, that's all I think creating those boundaries, you know, and really, I think part of self-control is understanding the boundaries in other people too. And to be a good leader, you have to respect the boundaries that other people have. They might not know that they have them, but if you want to go to your kid's soccer game, you should be able to do that, and I should respect that. I don't know. I think a lot of it's just respecting that the people who work for me are really great at what they do and they can get it done and they'll get it done and I don't have to worry about it.
Mm. Have you noticed a change in the way people think since you've kind of like have that mentality of empowering people? That are you seeing more and more people having that same thought process?
I can say with a lot of my VAs, especially, like, one would take on a job whenever it came up, and now she's more like, I don't know if I'm a great fit for that. I don't know if I have quite enough time. And it's like, perfect, not a problem. And, one lady was willing to kind of do things that she maybe wasn't as comfortable with. And now she's like, I really don't want to do phone work. Perfect. I'll find somebody who enjoys talking to people on the phone. I feel like they're more comfortable expressing a no than they maybe used to be. And I see in other people maybe that they're not as comfortable with that. And trying to encourage people in that is a good thing.
Definitely, definitely. I like your take on that. And the other part of it, as a business owner, most business owners are kind of controlling. They like to hold their fists really tight, and they're not real good at delegating. So, what would you say to the woman who's listening right now, who's scared to delegate, but she knows she can't keep doing it all?
Delegation is a lot of trust, but it's actually also trust in yourself. One, that you hired competent people. You trust your hiring instinct. They don't have to know everything. That's the fun part. You don't really hire people who know everything. You hire people who are willing to learn. And if you trust yourself to hire competent people, it becomes easier to slowly hand over things. Delegating is one of the hardest things for small business owners because their name is either attached to their business or their face is the business, or, but really it comes down to trust yourself, trust your instincts, and trust that other people will do a good job too.
I
And take
love
it
that.
one thing at a time. Don't
Oh,
try to delegate everything. Do it one
yeah.
thing at a time.
And that was the next question I had for you. How do you start delegating?
We've had some people who have a really hard time with it. It's almost kind of invasive and really personal to have an administrative assistant come in and like they handle all of your email. Look through the sent folder and just, okay, you know what? I would have said that. Yes, I would have said that. Maybe I wouldn't have said this. And you just let them know. You let your VA know, like, I would respond maybe more this way. And they learn, and it's a process. Or, do a quick review once a week of the work that got done. And if you look and it's consistent and it's like, yes, I would handle things this way, yes, this is perfect. Or if there's some changes you want made, let your VA know, let your assistant know. They're there to learn from you too. And that's a really good way to go about it. Start with the email. Start with the calendar and the scheduling. That's usually the hardest one, is to get a person's calendar. For some reason, they love controlling it. But let somebody else handle it for a while you kind of supervise. And when you're comfortable after a bit, you can kind of step back and let go and maybe just review once a month instead of once a week. Or it's kind of a process.
Definitely, I can see that. So I have a marketing background, and I'm curious how marketing is going for your business.
Like I said, I'm not a social media person, so I hired a social media manager, which was a great thing to delegate because I didn't want to do it anyway. As far as marketing, I feel like I'm the face of the business. So I really do a lot of marketing just in person. I network with people. Um, Anybody and everybody can get on social media, can get online and advertise and all of this. But I really feel like, especially working with small business owners, the real rubber meets the road marketing is meeting people face to face and shaking their hand. That's how you're building a business, a small business in this day and age, I think. So I really focus on just trying to remember people's names, meet them through networking. When people see me, they see that I'm consistent, they're willing to refer, and I think it makes it easier, but that's really my marketing.
And I think what you're saying is so true in this era that we're in, that we really need to build on the relationships that we already have and strengthen them instead of reaching out to anybody and everybody, because that's not such a good fit. But when we like niche up, as they say, it's adding more value to the relationships that we already have. And yeah, definitely you can get lost in reaching out to so many people. So, and I love that you brought an expert in to handle your marketing, because if you don't have that skill, it can keep you stuck and struggling. So I love that you're focusing on what you know. Beautiful.
But delegate the rest.
Yeah. So, Sarah, how can our listeners find you? What's that first step that they would need to take if they would want to work with you?
So you're always welcome to visit our website. It's just neisenconsulting.com. That's N as in Nancy, EISEN, consulting.com. We have a form on there that you can fill out with some basic business information. We contact you. Our first step is always you meet directly with me. We talk, we go over the systems that you currently use and what's really frustrating you, what you really need help with, and we kind of prioritize that. Um, and then from there, we kind of look through the VAs and who has availability, and we pair you and match you with the VA who has the skills to really work in the systems that you have already and help you optimize and take those administrative things off your plate.
Gotcha. Okay, and forgive me for mispronouncing your name. It's Neison Consulting. And what is your website?
It's neisenconsulting.com.
Perfect.
Neisen. It's very
Okay,
German.
very nice. So I will include that in the show notes. And any other closing thoughts that you'd like to share before we close out today?
Really, anybody and everybody, we're willing to work with any industry. We really focus on small businesses, solo entrepreneurs up to small business with maybe 5 or 6 employees. And we do fractional work. So we support you anywhere from 5 to 20 hours each week with administrative help. And starting in July, we will also be offering our on-site direct hire assistance. We're working with small businesses to hire those front desk people, office managers, administrators, and that will be in July. And we're going to be focusing on office and administrative help.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I really loved the conversation that Sarah and I had, and I want to just bring Sarah back on with us because she has her website, and I want her just to kind of have her explain a little bit about what your first step would be if you're thinking about hiring a virtual assistant. So, Sarah, let's go to your website. Thanks for coming back. We're at your website, nisonconsulting.com. And the first two options a person has is they can start now because they're all ready and set to hire somebody out, or maybe they just want to look at your services.
Yeah. So, if you know that you need a virtual assistant and you're like, yes, please, I hate my emails, go ahead and click on Start Now. What that does is you fill out a quick form. I get that information, and we basically get together and we have what I call a discovery call, where I ask questions about the systems that you're currently using. What really frustrates you? Is it the email? Is it rescheduling meetings or even just scheduling meetings? Are you having to do a lot of research for your business, or do you hate working in your CRM? Our VAs can do all of that for you. And what I do is I kind of assign an hour value based on what you're needing done every week. Most people land somewhere around 10 hours a week. And we send you a quote for a package that is basically 10 hours a week. You pay for 1 month at a time. It's a month-to-month contract. We don't hold people for a year. We don't do any of that. So it's month to month. And it can really be anything that you need help with. Some people really, really don't want to be managing their emails. Say you're getting 100, 150 emails a day and you know you just can't keep up. A VA is a great person to kind of sort through all of those things. They can summarize emails for you very quickly. We do this for a lot of people who are in project management. Basically, the back and forth between all of your individual project team members. You don't want to read these emails. We can summarize them for you. Research. We have paralegals. If you are an independent attorney or you're in a small office practice, we can find you a paralegal who can do all of your legal research for you. Managing your calendar and scheduling all of your meetings, it's a personal thing, but if you have so many meetings and you're back to back, and say you double book yourself a lot, we can help you manage your calendar. We can also help you with any marketing. Say you teach classes, you give workshops, you give Zooms with groups of people. We can help you with your marketing, your social media stuff, your landing pages where people register and sign up. We can get that CRM built on the back end for you as well. We also book travel. We have people who specialize in booking international travel, executive level travel if you want it. And again, social media management. We have a social media manager. She does all my stuff. I think she's fabulous. I hate doing it. So I hired somebody. And then we also work in electronic health records. We actually have several medical billers and coders on staff who can help, if you're a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, naturopathic physician, or a mental health therapist, and you need somebody in smart practice or any of those other types of EHRs, they specialize in that medical billing and coding. And we have tech people. We have tech people who work in WordPress, Squarespace, all of Wix, all of the above. One of the things that I still do that I'm hoping to bring somebody on to do is handling PowerPoint. We do a lot of executive level presentations for people in PowerPoint, doing a lot of that, working within Excel to create those dashboards, Power BI, a lot of that work. We have people that can handle all of that for you. Do you need to know your business's KPIs? We can help you figure that out with Excel and Power BI. And then we also have bookkeepers. We have multiple people who are in Wave and QuickBooks Online that can help you handle your books. We don't have CPAs, but we have great referrals there. And then data entry. We have people who specialize in data entry. They're 75 words a minute. They're fabulous. And they can help you get all of that data entry done if you have a large volume of data to work with. So a little bit of what we do, kind of how you can onboard, reach out to us. We're always happy to talk.
Thank you so much for explaining how that all works. And I really believe the only thing that's holding someone back from that overwhelm is just by clicking on that start now button.
It really is. It really is simple. We promise we walk through the delegation process with you. It can take a month or two to really kind of find a flow with your VA. But once you do, we have so many people with so many testimonials of just, I now work 9 to 5. And a lot of them in trades that just are so happy they're elbow deep in a sink and they don't have to answer their phone.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thanks again, Sarah.
Thank you.
Once again, what a great conversation. I loved how Sarah was able to break it down and help listeners understand what a huge impact a virtual assistant could make in your business. Thanks again for listening in today. I look forward to talking with you next time.
Hope you enjoyed this episode of Time for You Evolve for Female Entrepreneurs. If you loved this episode as much as I did, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week, and if you want to support the show, Leaving a review goes a long way. A special shout out to our amazing partners and sponsors. Their support allows us to continue bringing you engaging content every week. And with a big thank you, I look forward to seeing you next time. If you're ready to supercharge your email marketing and automation game, look no further than my favorite autoresponder, ActiveCampaign. It's the ultimate all-in-one platform designed to turn your contacts into customers and your customers into loyal advocates. Imagine having a tool that not only understands your customers, but anticipates their needs. That's what ActiveCampaign does. With its powerful customer experience automation, you can create personalized journeys that nurture leads, drive sales, and build lasting relationships. The biggest reason I chose ActiveCampaign after trying other autoresponders is because I wanted to make sure my emails were being delivered and not going into spam. I need to know that my emails actually get to the people I'm emailing so that I have good engagement rates, response rates, and click-through rates on every email I send. Then I can have peace of mind that what I send out about my blog posts or upcoming events gets delivered and that people get to read what I write. ActiveCampaign offers live support through chats, webinars, and in-person study halls, again, which is so different from those other email services I've tried in the past. If you're ready to up your marketing game, go to my website, lisarcarmichael.com/activecampaign, which is my partner link, and sign up for a free trial. Experience firsthand the power of ActiveCampaign and take your marketing to a new level.
Hi friends, let's have a heart-to-heart about something that's been a significant part of my life, skincare. As a busy female entrepreneur, I need a quick and effective routine. About a year or so ago, I stumbled across my secret weapon, Droplet. It's made a remarkable difference in my skin. Now, I'm a self-proclaimed skincare junkie. I've tried it all, from serums to spa treatments, and even once selling a natural body care line. So when I learned about Droplet, I knew I had to give it a shot. Droplet delivers personalized skincare with its micro infuser, penetrating ingredients deep into your skin. It's like a Nespresso for skincare. It's quick, easy, with capsules that are recyclable. No cleanup, no hassle. Droplet's formulas are clinical strength, dermatologist recommended, and are cruelty-free. It's a skincare lover's dream. If you're ready to evolve beyond the basics, head over to the Droplet link on my website today where you can start your own personalized Droplet routine. Investing in a good skincare routine is crucial for any woman, especially us busy entrepreneurs. First impressions matter, and you want to put your best face forward. Droplet offers free consultations with their estheticians to address your skin concerns. Here's to glowing, radiant, and fiercely beautiful you, no matter what age you are. Get your 20% savings by heading over to my website, lisarcarmichael.com/droplet.